Hello everyone, I am back as promised with a DESTASH video, and I'm going to start with the paper DESTASH lots. The majority of these items are vintage. There's just a couple things that are going to be a little bit newer. Actually, these Tim Holtz cutouts will be one of the new things. I think there's a couple large envelopes that I included for coffee staining or tea dyeing, and there might be one or two other things. But other than that, everything is going to be vintage. I am going to start with the paper DESTASH lots today, and then the rest of the week I will have themed lots. I have a few sewing themed junk journal kits. I have some garden recipe, a fashion or kind of shopping kit, and let's see here. I believe I have a travel and a rose themed, and then I believe a daisy themed lot, and maybe a couple more, I'm not sure, but all of those lots will include fabrics and laces and doilies, handkerchiefs and things like that. And I believe all of the items, or at least the majority of the items, will be vintage. So let me go ahead and get started with the paper lot here, and you will get roughly 100 items or more. So I kind of went through and counted. I do have 6 of these packets available. They are going to be $15. They will ship for about $8 or $9, so you're basically paying about $6 for all of these items. The majority of the cost is going to be in shipping, so it will be $15 shipped. So let me go ahead and show you what's included. You'll get a little packet here of antique and vintage stamps. I believe these are from the early 1900s, if I'm not mistaken, but you will get a variety of those. These packets, for the most part, have the same items in them. They're very similar. They might not be exactly the same, but I tried to include similar items in each one. So you will get basically the same thing, but for example, your music sheets might be a little different. Some of your stamps are going to be a little different, and maybe the cards and things like that will be the same type, but just maybe different images and things like that. So you will get several of the vintage Snoopy. Here's some cute, I don't even know what these are, but if it's a game, but they have some really nice images on those. Some of the vintage playing cards, and they have a lot of natural wear on them. I know people love using those in junk journals and projects. These are some type of game cards or something, but you'll get a couple of those. This is a vintage tally sheet, I think is what they're called. And then we have some more of the vintage cards. Here's another vintage tally. Here's a vintage Hallmark, I think it's a place card, I believe is what they're called. Everyone got a handful of these Tim Holtz cutouts, and the package said they were taken from vintage photos, so not all packages will have the same cutouts, but I did throw a handful into each packet. Here's a vintage envelope with a cute little bunny. Here are some playing cards, and everybody will get 2 of those, and a couple of these. I don't think these are vintage, but I don't know. If they are, they're probably from the 90s or something. I'm not really positive, but I thought they would look good in junk journals. This is from a vintage game, and this is dated 1984, so that is vintage. Everyone gets a couple of the library pockets, and several of the vintage flashcards. Here are some cards I thought would make good inserts. This comes from some, I don't know if it's a game. I think it's a learning tool or something like that. So everyone will get that. Every packet will get several vintage letters and envelopes, or what is this, a collector's receipt of some sort. So not all packets will have the exact same assortment of vintage letters and such, but everybody will get some of these. Then I believe these are some sort of marketing item. They are vintage, so I really don't know exactly what they are, but I think they're just marketing items. And then we have some assortment of different size doilies. Here are some gift certificates, and I do believe these are a little bit newer. Here are the large envelopes I was talking about that are ready for coffee staining or tea dyeing. Here is a conference call. This is vintage, $19.99, and I thought that would make a good journal spot. Here is a vintage paper, and I thought that was adorable with that kitten on there. Here is a 12-inch piece of vintage wallpaper. I just love this. I guess it's wall border. And I will definitely be keeping some of this for myself. But I did include a 12-inch piece in all the lots. Here's some of the wavy edged paper. This is ready for tea staining, coffee staining, dyeing, whatever you want to do with it. Here are some of those vintage 1972 stickers. Here is some vintage, I believe this was shelf paper, if my memory serves me correct. So everybody gets some of that. Here is a piece of the paper with the rose on it. This is 1996 Hobby Lobby paper. I'll get a couple sheets of that. Oh, here's more of the stickers. So you'll get, I believe, 3 sheets of these stickers with different images. And I guess you could probably color them, I would think, if you wanted to. And more of the vintage shelf paper. And then we get down to the music sheets. And everyone will get several music sheets. They will be different. This one right here is a smaller book. Not every pack will get the smaller book, but I just tried to divide them up as best as I could. The majority of the sheets are from the early 1900s. This one, as you can see, has a very nice age to it. So they are antique. And some will have one of the booklets with maybe 3 or 4 pages in it. Some will have just random sheets like this packet. So it's just a nice assortment. And this one is 1902. So that is what you will get. If you are interested, I will leave my information in the description, and you can just contact me through email to let me know that it will be PayPal only. If you are outside the US and you're interested, I would just ask that you pay the difference in shipping. Some of the countries can get pretty expensive with their shipping, but if you have any questions, let me know, and thank you so much for watching.